News Channel 6 at 10, essential workers, how they did not let this weather stop them from serving the community. We'll have the story as your News at 10 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 10 on MeTV.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Brad Means. We do thank you for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with the icy roads and those who cannot stay home from work. Isabella Moody spoke to people who braved dangerous conditions so they could serve others.
Wet roads are expected to refreeze overnight, and while it's recommended to stay off them, some have to travel for work. Stephen Pinza, assistant general manager at Giuseppe's restaurant, told me that they opened a little later than usual, but still wanted to give customers a place to have a meal.
They were happy. Like, they started coming as soon as we hit the open sign, so they were happy to see us and, just excited to be able to get something to eat. This cold, they wanted something warm.
First responders also making sure they are on the job and ready to help.
On a normal day, it's stressful in itself for all of the crew members in the street as well as us in command staff. But when you throw in inclement weather, snow, ice, etc., we just have to change our response plans, maybe alter the routes, and stay informed with changing road conditions.
Pinza also says it's important to be open so his crew doesn't get hit in the wallet.
For our employees, so they can, not lose a day of pay, because it's hard, it's impromptu. It's not like it was planned.
Johnson wants to remind drivers to please stay off the road if possible, especially at night.
Help us help you. It's the biggest message. Try to stay away from non-essential traveling. Once the sun goes down especially, it's just going to exacerbate the conditions. And no matter what, we are coming, but it may take just a little bit longer.
Remember to be gracious and patient with the people who have to come to their jobs to help serve you when in need of a warm meal or emergency response. In Augusta, Isabella Moody, WJBF News Channel 6.
It is time now for our first look at the weather. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Jenna Petracci.
Well, definitely a bit of a different situation than what we had last night. We no longer have the snow coming down, but we still have the cold temperatures. But first, let's go and wrap up the snow event we had yesterday. And these are the highest totals that we saw in the CSRA. 5 inches was the highest amount in Johnson County in Wrightsville, around 4 in Dover, Earhart, Scott, Louisville, and Jefferson County, 3.5 inches, 2.5 in Aiken, almost 2.5 at Fort Eisenhower, and nearly 2 inches at Augusta Busch Field. You're not seeing nearly as much snow piled up here on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam at Wellstar MCG Health, but we do still have that possibility of very dangerous black ice on the road, so you still need to be very careful if you're out and about late tonight and tomorrow morning. Check out these temperatures. We're already down to 22 degrees in Augusta. That's been around what our low has been over the past few nights, and we're already at it at the 10 o'clock hour. 23 in Evans, 27 in Millen. Wrightsville, you're sitting at 25, 22 in Lincolnton, and the dew points are down into the single digits and teens. So it's very dry air that we now have in place with high pressure back in control. That'll keep us dry, and the winds are luckily very light, so we don't have to worry about a harsh wind chill, but it's just going to be plain cold with the actual temperatures dropping to around 10 degrees. Cold weather advisory in effect till 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, 13 in the forecast by 5 a.m., 17 by 7 a.m., and it will be a mostly cloudy day. Coming up, I'll have a look at the 10-day forecast because we do have a big warm-up that we're looking forward to, so stay with us. But back to you, Brad.
All right, thanks a lot, Jenna. State crews working around the clock to treat roads all across Georgia. They have more than 400 snow plows deployed across the state, and their message to drivers, you've heard it, is be patient and stay off the roads if you can.
Now for Augusta, again, impact like we hadn't seen in a long time. And we are focused on I-20 and I-520 and around Augusta, still trying to treat and plow those areas and a couple of the major 4 lanes that connect to I-20. So we'll be continuing to do that around the clock as well. And so big focus there.
Yeah, crews also working to salt areas near hospitals so those roads are clear in case of an emergency. Towing companies have been very busy responding to calls over the past 24 hours. Graham Lee has the story.
Round 2 of snow in the CSRA is proving to be a lot more than we got 2 weeks ago. but with more snow, it means more trouble for drivers.
We've had 20 accidents come in since 8 o'clock last night, and that's not counting the tractor trailers that we've had.
While the phones are ringing off the hook for dispatchers, workers like Dylan Messina are seeing everything firsthand.
I'm seeing a lot of people sliding off the road because they can't drive in the ice and snow. I haven't seen any personal injuries in the past night, but we have had some major accidents like rollovers and stuff like that that have caused some pretty bad damage to some vehicles.
Wreckers have seen flipped cars in ditches, and multiple vehicle accidents over the past 24 hours. Road conditions improved when the sun came out, but workers say there are important things to keep in mind if you need to travel.
Definitely keep some, extra gas in your car, or, catch some sand, something like that. Help with the traction if you get stuck a little bit. Don't be freaking out, speeding down the road. You'll be on ice most of the time. If you have four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, it's a little bit easier, but the front-wheel drive cars have a harder time doing it. Go up hills and stuff like that.
Preferably stay off the roads if you can. And if you are on the roads, just drive very slowly and very carefully. And if you have to hit brakes, don't slam on brakes. Slowly hit your brakes.
Chansey's dispatchers also say they're only running emergency calls until the roads clear up. Snow and ice turning Aiken County roads into danger zones Tuesday night into this morning. Early Wednesday, the sheriff's office reporting most roads were iced over. Whiskey, Piney Heights, and Park Avenue all slick, even after pre-treatment. A car was seen spinning on Hitchcock Parkway. A Good Samaritan, thank goodness, stepped in to help, pulling stranded drivers to safety. One driver told us how relieved they were to be rescued.
Well, we had one section that was hard to get through. It was going up a hill, and it was icy and slushy. And I'm going to cry, but this really sweet young man stopped. My husband was worried about hooking up to our little Mini. We had a Mini Clubman. And he stopped to help us, and he pulled us up to the top. And I thanked him, and I only had a few dollars to push in his pocket. He didn't even want to take it.
Road crews still working hard, but ice remains a concern as those temperatures drop. And the temps and snow prompting some of our local schools to stay closed tomorrow. You can find up-to-the-minute school closures. We have a list that we keep updating at WJBF.com, and we will continue to let you know what's happening school-wise as the information comes in.
It's the coldest air of the season tonight with temperatures between 10 and 15 degrees. We'll slowly but surely warm up though, and next week we'll have mid-60s in the forecast. Your full Viper 6 forecast right after this break.
Do you really know what you're inhaling?
Kia.com.
To get the weather, you need to see the whole picture. That's why Live Fiber 6 gives you the Skyview network. Get a live view of traffic and weather from all over the CSRA. Available online 24 hours a day at WJBF.com and the free Live Fiber 6 mobile app. The WJBF Live Fiber 6 Skyview network. Powered by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Low prices, big selection, and committed to quality customer service. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Fiber 6.
Welcome back. It is a very cold Wednesday night as we take a look at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam. A lot of the snow melted today, and now it's refreezing into dangerous black ice, so you need to be still limiting your time on the roads, especially shaded areas where that snow is easily able to refreeze into ice. 22 degrees out there, but luckily, notice the feels like temperature just matches the actual air temperature as winds are very calm. Dew point of 17, and it will be actually down to 17 degrees within the next few hours. We're already seeing low 20s for the most part. Millen, you're the warm spot at 28, 25 in Sylvania, Bamberg at 23, 20 in Aiken, 21 in Saluda. High pressure is moving in, and so is some cloud cover. So clouds are coming in from the south. We have a cold front approaching, but that really won't do much for us. We're going to have pretty quiet weather over the next few days. It's just really cold, going down to 13 at 5 a.m., 7 a.m. will be at 17, and the clouds will be increasing as the morning goes on. So partly cloudy and icy roadways tonight, seeing 10 degrees to 15 degrees across the board, and once again, that cold weather advisory is in effect. So we are challenging our record low, and I feel very confident that we will beat it. The record is 16, set back in 1985, and the forecast low is 13. And fun fact for you, if you think this is cold, back in 1985 on January 21st, we had a low temperature of -1 degree. So at least least we aren't that cold. The road temperature needs to be 32 or below in order to have black ice, and we're definitely there. That is a very thin layer of ice that accumulates on the pavement. So that's what we're expecting tomorrow morning. Once again, especially in those areas sheltered from the sunlight, and we're also going to have some issues on overpasses and bridges, hilly areas, all good places to stay away from. But your interstate and your major highways are looking much better. So black ice possible tonight through Thursday. Then as we go into Thursday afternoon, we're going to warm up and we'll see some improvement to our roadways. Also important that you remember the 4 P's: people, pets, plants, and pipes. Important to definitely let your faucets drip tonight. That will definitely help the pipes from freezing and bursting, as temperatures are definitely well below 20 degrees. Usually that's the threshold that we reach once we start to see those issues with pipes. Also a good idea to open the cabinets to help your pipes warm up. So be sure to do that over the next couple of nights, as we'll still see some temperatures in the upper teens all the way into Saturday morning. But our highs tomorrow are at least back into the 40s for some of us, 41 in Augusta, and then look what's happening with the highs as we go into next week. 55 on Sunday, 60 on Tuesday, and then feeling like a spring-like day on Wednesday, up to 65. But those warmer temperatures will come with some rain chances, scattered showers in the forecast on Monday. But the good news is that because the temperatures are warming up, including those lows back into the upper 30s, we won't have to worry about any frozen precipitation next week. Back to just typical weather for us here in the South. 60s, 50s, and some rain chances.
All right, Jenna, thank you. Still ahead, how some lawmakers are working to protect the efforts to lower the cost of prescription drugs. Details when we come back. Reintroducing his bill to legalize medical marijuana in the state. Longtime cannabis activist Tom Davis is pushing his Compassionate Care Act. It's failed every time it's come up in the past 10 years, but if it makes it, it would also include a 5-year sunset clause. It would automatically terminate under that unless lawmakers vote to renew it. Up next, our Scholar Athlete of the Week, a young man getting it done at Richmond Academy, in the classroom, on the baseball diamond, you name it. Stay with us.
41-3305. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
Each week we honor a scholar athlete that excels not only in the classroom but in the community. On behalf of Jefferson Energy, McDonald's, and Rebath, WJBF presents Brooks Dickinson as this week's Scholar Athlete Award winner. Dickinson is an all-region baseball performer, a member of the Richmond Academy football team, and a member of the National Honor Society, all while boasting his 4.47 GPA. He is one of the area's top baseball pitchers. He's also been a Football Player of the Week nominee, and he's geared up to finish his senior year strong, both on the baseball diamond and in the classroom.
It's tough sometimes, but a lot of late nights and studying and really just kind of trying to find a perfect balance of sports and school.
sports and athletics are not just the primary focus. Really want to be a well-rounded individual, and starting with the team sports at a young age is really more about just exposure to friends and understanding social activities.
He was always dressed and ready 2 hours before it was to walk out. It was time to walk out the door. I can remember he would come home from Mother's Day out in preschool, and if he had a game that day, he would put his uniform on immediately and sit on the sofa until it's time to go.
I've never had to tell him, go get your stuff done. Does it on his own. And he leads by example rather than, he's not necessarily the most vocal of leaders, but he sets an example for the younger guys that is hard to beat.
Started off as a backup quarterback behind Jack Murphy, but pushed Jack. Never was one to shy away from competition, and you can tell that just in everything that he does.
We have some great coaches here. Everyone is so understanding and so helpful. They really try to teach you, and it's a great staff here.
Congratulations to Brooks Dickinson and his family. Well, the winter weather has put the clamps on virtually all sporting events in the area this week, and college basketball really no exception to that. The second-ranked South Carolina women's basketball teams tussle with fifth-ranked LSU, originally scheduled for Thursday at 8 p.m., has been postponed until Friday at 5 o'clock at the Colonial Life Arena. The Gamecocks will be coming in hot as they've defeated their last 3 opponents, all top 25 ranked teams, by double figures, including Sunday's 101-60 beatdown of 15th ranked Oklahoma. And South Carolina head football coach Shane Beamer is one of 8 college football coaches up for the 39th annual American Heart Association's Paul Bear Bryant Award. It recognizes the country's top college football coaches for their efforts both on and off the field. Beamer led the Gamecocks to a 9-4 mark during the 2024 campaign with a 5-3 finish in SEC play, and it's really a full circle moment for the Beamer family as his father Frank Beamer won the same award back in 2019.
I got into this profession thinking if I could be half the coach, my dad was, it would be a pretty successful career. And to be here in my 4th season as a head coach is extremely humbling and really awesome.
And in men's college basketball, South Carolina, Georgia, Georgia Tech, and Clemson all played Wednesday night. The Gamecocks ended the night in heartbreaking fashion, dropping to the Florida Gators 70-69. The Yellow Jackets, though, get the 71-64 win over the Virginia Tech Hokies. The Tigers beat Syracuse 86-72, improving to 16-4 overall. Now Georgia currently playing Arkansas right now, leading the Razorbacks 38-26 at the half. That's it for sports. We'll be back.
Crime is complex.
And last but not least, a Colorado Uber driver is going viral.
He films encounters with riders and his dog, who is always riding shotgun.
Rachel Sorer has the story.
Ready?
For Bowie, a rescue lab from Albuquerque,
Your toesies are gonna freeze off, man.
very few things can pry him away from his favorite dog park in Broomfield.
This is all he ever wants to do. We could be here 10 hours a day, and he would have fun the whole time.
But when he gets to go to work, that is a very close second.
He's so good in the car. It's like really the one place he always behaves.
Kevin Furman has been an Uber driver for about 10 years, and after he adopted Bowie, he decided to try something out.
I was thinking about it, Bowie doesn't like being left at home.
So he decided to take him along for the ride.
Instantly, it was a big hit. The passengers loved it.
That's when Furman had an idea.
The reactions are just so funny and so wholesome. I'm like, we have to share this with the world, We threw the camera in here.
The camera then capturing the funny.
Oh my goodness.
And the heartwarming.
This is just what I need.
But one thing is for sure.
Oh, you are so soft.
Bowie always steals the show.
It's a good time for him, especially because he's a rescue and the whole separation anxiety thing. The second he meets anybody, he knows that they're just going to be petting him and loving on him. So the amount of trust he has for people and for the world compared to when I first got him is pretty heartwarming.
Furman also capturing the memories he hopes will last with his passengers for a long time.
You get into a car, you have a friendly interaction, you see a nice, sweet dog, and it goes from what would normally be 2 strangers barely interacting with each other to, a memorable experience.
I'm a precious dog. I love how that man said, "This is just what I needed."
Mm-hmm. I know. I feel like that's what I need every day, really, a dog. I miss my dog every day, and he's out in the cold snow in Wisconsin, so
yeah, we need
good on
them.
him.
We need them in our lives.
Yes.
The dog probably so cold last night in the snow.
You know they were.
And if they're out tomorrow morning, they may have to deal with some ice. So we do have the chance of some icy roads on Thursday morning. Temperatures are going to be starting out in the lower teens, climbing to 41 in the afternoon, mostly cloudy, but back to sunshine on Friday. Then we're in the 50s over the weekend, 60s next week.
And that is our report for now. We're back at the top of the hour for News Channel 6 at 11.
And Hogan's Heroes is next here on WTV.
Have a great night.